What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamescast Now, episode 86, topic 2. I'm Alex, and this is our conversational gaming show. And in this topic, I want to go over all of the leaks, all of the rumors that we've heard, both about the upcoming Batman Arkham game, and really whatever is coming from Warner Brothers, Montreal, as well as Rocksteady Games. So I'm going to be talking about all the leaks, all the rumors about both these studios heading into E3 2019. Because when it comes to these two studios, the rumors and the leaks, I've never seen so many of them, and so many times that we think we're going to get a game from them, or we think we're going to get an announcement, only to have that rug pulled out under our feet. And here we are, for both of these studios, it's a very, very important time that we need to get something. I've been saying from day one, here's the thing, both of them are under the Warner Brothers, kind of umbrella. And I do believe we are going to get an announcement of one of these games at this year's E3. I think we are going to get an announcement of one of these games. And I'm honestly expecting that game to be the game of E3 for me, because I really, really love the Arkham games. I think they're so fantastic. I think both these studios are very, very talented, but both have had their fair share of just absolute catastrophes, really. Let's start with Rocksteady Games. Now, Rocksteady Games is the one that, I think that there's been the least amount of leaks on in terms of both these studios. They've kept things more quiet than Warner Brothers Montreal, and what we do know from them is that it's been 4 years. It's been 4 years since Batman Arkham Knight, and the last time we heard from them in an official role, they talked right before the Game Awards how they would not be there. Now, 4 years after Arkham Knight, I have to believe this is the E3 that we get something from this studio. And will that make Warner Brothers Montreal look bad? Yeah, it will actually, I think, make them look terrible, because here we have a studio that has less people in it working for them than the other studio, as well as, just a faster turnaround and an overall, I think, a more polished game, whatever they're going to make. Now, what they are going to make is completely up for speculation. I know there was a leak a couple weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, of Outlaws, and it was rumored to be a Batman game. I truly, truly do not believe that Rocksteady is going to make a Batman game. I think 100% it's going to be either a DC kind of like a universe game, so all of them, or maybe just a specific person. Now, I know they said they're not making a Superman game, but if we take developers on word of mouth, or just based off of their word, we're really not doing ourselves any favors, because they lie to us all the time. That literally is part of the industry, part of the business, is to lie, so that when you reveal it, then we're all caught off guard, because it's like, oh, we never thought that was going to happen. Biggest one, and one of the ones I always go back to saying, is people asked Neil Druckmann, maker of The Last of Us, if we'd ever play as Ellie in The Last of Us, the first game, and he said, straight down, he said, no, we're not going to ever play as her. You'll play as Joel the entire time. What do you do in that game? You play as Ellie. So, the developers are not going to always tell you the truth, and it's something to always take a grain of salt with, because they do want to have their games be a surprise. With that being said, again, I feel like Rocksteady is more likely. There's always kind of more hype with Rocksteady. I think they got it more figured out. I think whatever they've been working on has had a better path to development, because really, when you look at the other studio, and let's talk about Warner Brothers Montreal, it's been literally a catastrophe, and this is the one with just the rumors of all of these different games. They were the ones with Arkham Insurgency last summer. People thought that was the leak, or that was going to be the Batman game, but they're the one who supposedly had a Suicide Squad game and a Wonder Woman game both canceled. So these guys have been working on, I think, a ton of different games throughout the last 6-7 years, ever since Arkham Origins, and they just have not been able to get their feet on the ground. Now, the thing with them, and there are, to me, here's the thing, to me, they're the most interesting one, because I 100% believe they are making a Batman Arkham game. We're going to get another Arkham game from them. Rocksteady, I think, will try and build the brand, build all of the superheroes, so we'll get, I truly think we're going to get a Justice League game from Rocksteady Games. That's just what I think. It could be something else, but I feel like limiting them to one character, I don't think they're going to go back to that. When it comes to Warner Brothers, though, they are the ones doing that. Now, what we know about them is they are working on 2 AAA games at the same time. They have 2 different teams going on. Now, there's a couple YouTube channels on YouTube that do, I think, a really, really good job of covering it. I'm not really going to talk about it. I know one of them, I think, is Savage1009. He seems really, really good. I've watched a couple of his videos. He explains it pretty well, and what I like about this is the fact that we're going to get 2 AAA games from them, and 2 AAA, I think, superhero games, obviously. The question is when, and I think what a lot of people are being hung up on, and again, these are the Arkham Insurgency people. These are also Arkham Crisis, which was leaked or talked about back in January and February, and both of these games have the same kind of themes. This is the Court of Owls. This is the one that secret society knows who Batman is, and is that game. Okay, so if you know any of the leaks about that game, and when the rumors or leaks for Arkham Insurgency and the leaks for Crisis, they are similar, but there are some things different, but they seem to be mainly about the same game. So maybe that's just a name change. Maybe they did a lot of different things in it, but I think they kept the whatever is the most important about these two games. Again, the question is, they're working on two different games at the same time. One seemingly is further along than the other, and I think a lot of people are getting hung up on the whole no Batman Arkham in 2019. If you search that up, or if you watch that Savage's video, and again, I think he does a really good job, but I think a lot of people are caught up on this having to come out in 2019, or if it doesn't, that's a huge disappointment. And I think they're also connecting with the fact that just because it's not going to come out in 2019 means we're not going to get an announcement. I think we can still get an announcement for one of these games at this year's E3. I mean, if it comes out next summer or next, springtime, next May or June, you can announce it this year. I mean, I think we're going to get a lot of release dates. I think we're going to get a lot of games telling us spring of 2020. I mean, if you guys want to keep count over E3 this year of how many games are going to tell us that, not give us a release date, but tell us spring of 2020, I think we're going to get a lot of them. So I don't see why that holds them back from announcing their game, and I don't think it should hold these guys back. I think if you have a new Batman Arkham game to announce, you announce it, you can show us a trailer, and then it can come out next year. It's fine. It's just for the people, and then myself included, I really wanted a Batman Arkham game in 2019. I wanted a superhero game, to build off of Spider-Man last year. I know they're completely different. I know Insomniac, Rocksteady, Warner Brothers, I understand they're all, obviously even Marvel and DC, but I just wanted another superhero game. One per year is my want. Now, technically, I guess we get Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which is fine too, but I think that it's possible, but when it comes down to one of these studios, I don't think we're going to get both. I think if Rocksteady announces their game, and say it's the Justice League game, or say it's whatever, I don't think we're going to get an announcement from Warner Brothers. I don't think we're going to get a Montreal studio, that studio that made Arkham Origins. I don't think we're going to get their game as well. I don't think they can announce both at the same time. I feel like that would just take away from the other. So I really do feel like this is a game of just which one comes out. And to be honest, I feel like, and especially Warner Brothers, like having them underneath their umbrella, I'm pretty sure they wanted this Montreal studio to have a game out years ago and wanted there to be some sort of path and some sort of like bridge to the next Rocksteady game. I feel like that was always the plan. That's basically what Arkham Origins was, right? It was to kind of bridge the gap between Arkham City and also Arkham Knight. It was to get you through that, and now we're here, and it's been 4 years since an Arkham Knight. It's those games I think are still masterpieces. I love all three of them, but it's like, okay, I don't think we're going to get a Rocksteady game till 2020 as well. So now we have 5 years between most likely the release of Arkham Knight and the next game from that studio. I feel like the other Montreal studios, I feel like they were supposed to have that game in between, 2017, 2018, to kind of guide people through it and have another game. And not to say that that's short selling them, not saying that that game would be worse or better or anything, because I think they're pretty similar games. I think there's some very talented people at both studios, but I think that was the plan. Bottom line, the leaks, everything that we've heard, we definitely hear way more leaks from Warner Brothers Montreal, the one that's been working on 2 AAA games, but who knows how close that even that first game is to release. And when it comes to Rocksteady, obviously I think they're the more polished studio. They're the ones I think expect more from, and it's a little bit more interesting because they can really make anything. Like I said, Montreal, that studio, I really do believe one of those games is an Arkham game. So we're going to get a Batman standalone game again. It's just Rocksteady has that mystery because, could it be? Like, what could it be? And I think we're going to find out one of those two answers this E3. I do 100%, and my prediction is we will get an announcement of one of those two games at this year's E3. Will any of them release in 2019? I think it's very unlikely. At the same time, Rocksteady does have a history. They have announced a Batman game and then said it was supposed to ship, I believe that October. If you remember back in in 2014, they said Arkham Knight was supposed to come out that fall. It was then delayed 8 months to that June. So they at least originally wanted that game to come out within 4 to 5 months of announcing it. So in which case, if we get a Rocksteady game announcement, it could be ready for October or November. However, it seems more likely that one of these two games is going to release in 2020. So I think 2020 will be a good year. I think 2020 and 2021, we should get two DC games, two DC superhero games from two different studios. So that's something very much to look forward to. And again, this is a game and a franchise that I think can really make a splash at E3. I'm looking forward to a hopeful surprise announcement from one of these. I'm hoping maybe we can get a Harry Potter Magic Awakened that's also under Warner Brothers. So we'll see what kind of surprises they can have. But honestly, any one of those three games could really steal E3. There's not a ton. I know Microsoft has a new console. I know we're going to get a couple games, a couple big games, even Marvel's Avengers. But I really think these guys can steal the show. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think about the leaks? What do you think about the news and kind of the state of Batman or the state of the DC games that these two studios are making going into E3? Do you think we're going to get an announcement? Let me know. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And thank you, as always, for watching. I hope to see you on the next video.